the same old dream. Just like all the other times, my sister didn't wake up.
You were all over the news. About the case online. They say the police screwed up and accidentally killed the kidnapper.
Hey everyone, Rascal here.
And Mama, welcome to our channel, Paws On Animation.
And today we're covering the mystery anime Ghost Town.
Now this anime actually comes from the creator of Ghost in the Shell and it's I.G Productions 20th anniversary project. We got it for $1 from Crunchyroll.
Yes.
Now it centers around supernatural occurrences becoming more and more frequent in a small town, and three boys end up coming together to solve an 11-year mystery. But
before we start, be sure to like, subscribe, and occasionally some future podcasts and Pause videos.
Thank you for joining us today, subscribing, sharing our videos, and so much more. We really appreciate your specials.
Yes.
This is something we actually never expected to watch, but it was $1 when we got that big Crunchyroll clearance haul.
Yeah.
So we watched it. Now the thing is, we're only covering the first 11 episodes. The second 11 are on a separate DVD. However, Crunchyroll wasn't selling it, so we couldn't buy it.
Go figure, yeah.
We looked for it on Crunchyroll website, and it's not there. So if you guys know where to watch the second 11 episodes, the second half of Ghost Hound,
yeah,
let us know in the comments. We would like to finish it.
Yes. And this one, we actually had no idea what it was supposed to be. We just read the case and said, hey, let's try it. It's only $1. And we didn't know until much later that this was from a well-known anime creator for Ghost in the Shell. So this was pretty much our first time watching anything of his for the first time.
And it's based on a 2-volume manga that ran from 2007 to 2008.
So 1 year, okay.
In the magazine Comic Blade. So this is a small town called Suiten, S-U-I-T-E-N.
Oh, okay.
And in the beginning we learned that the main character, Taro, who's 14 now, was kidnapped 11 years ago, he and his older sister. And he was the only one that survived.
Right. And it was, a pretty dark storyline. And yeah, actually, you just read the first part of it right now. Yes, Taro, Komori, and his little sister were kidnapped, but the kidnapper was run over and killed before the ransom could be delivered. Yes, that is seriously what it says on the case. The police eventually found Taro, but not before his sister had perished. 11 years later, Taro still has nightmares of the events surrounding the kidnapping and is haunted by a tall, featureless specter. Now Taro searches for answers together with two unlikely companions. A brash transfer student from Tokyo who is himself haunted by the memory of a fellow student who took himself out by jumping off the roof. And the son of a man who committed the same thing after being accused of being involved with the kidnapping. Unseen spirits, ghosts, non-body experiences all combine this intriguing exploration into the workings of memory and our perception of the world. Lots of that in there.
Now here's the thing. When you hear the back of the cover Rascal just read, you expect it to be crazy. It isn't. It's really calm.
Yeah.
And you just have all these mysteries going on that they're trying to figure out. The specter doesn't look like a specter. It looks like an alien.
Right.
You see the parents and the adults, but there are 4 children that are the main characters. Taro Komori, who we just mentioned. Makoto Ogami, who's a delinquent. Hot-tempered, gets in trouble all the time.
Of course.
Masayuki Nakajima, who's, that character in anime that laughs no matter what and gets bullied.
Right.
And then you have Miyako Komagusu, who is a girl who works at the temple.
Right.
With her father or her grandfather.
I think it's her father.
And she's able to see the things they're seeing, and she looks spooky. They should have called her Sadaka.
Right. Right. So, seeing these first 11 episodes, it really is one of those slow burn, slowly developed mysteries. Because you see some odd things happening in terms of behavior of the people, but the supernatural stuff doesn't come in until a little bit later. And as you're watching, you're seeing, of course, just almost everybody in this town has some sort of secret that they kind of want to stay buried. So it's one of those stories where something very tragic happened. No one wants to talk about it. They want to, take it to the grave, basically. But something supernatural occurs where you have to answer the questions, or it was unfinished business. So it has to end up being solved, or else everyone's in danger. And when it gets towards the end of these first 11 episodes, they start having occurrences happen more and more frequently, to the point where The town is getting more involved. Police is getting more involved. Government might be involved soon. And it starts affecting nature. And yes, even goes as far as to say it's starting to affect nature in America. And it's like, what did we do? We have nothing to do with this. But no, there's crap happening all the way halfway around the world because of this. It's like, why did you bring that up? Come on.
Some things in here that are really strange. One is they're able to participate in astral projection. If you know what that is when people say they're able to leave their own bodies and see the things that are going around them. But when these three boys leave their bodies, they look like see-through aliens.
Yeah, that's weird.
And the only thing solid are their ears and their little butts.
For some reason.
And they don't look like humans.
Right.
In case you're wondering, they look like little baby aliens.
Yes.
It's never explained why it's like that.
And then at one point, when they're trying to figure out why these specters were appearing more and more, one of them gets so angry that their form starts to change, and they start to take the form of a dog. So actually a hound. So you actually start seeing why it's called Ghost Hound. It looks like when they're angry, they turn into hounds. But you don't know why yet, at least for this first half. It's a very odd way of getting to the point of the title.
Right. Now, Taro's mom and dad are still, of course, affected by what happened to the sister, but the mom is having worse problems dealing with it, and she, after all these years, is finally going to get therapy for it. And you're wondering why they waited so late, but she just has pretty much fallen apart.
Yeah.
And another thing is, and I did pick up on this, Miyako, she's like really weird, really strange. You see her eyes, and you're supposed to get the impression that she's got supernatural abilities. You can see that he's paying more attention to her than anyone else. Kind of suspect that he likes her, but it's also revealed that he thinks she may be the reincarnation of his sister, so that's going somewhere really strange.
Right. So,
And the other two guys that he ends up doing the traveling with, they end up coming together in the oddest way. As we mentioned, one of them is getting bullied all the time, but he laughs no matter what. Right. And then that kid comes up to him, and he says, hey, Masayuki, he comes up and he says, hey, you're the kid that was kidnapped 11 years ago.
All
he just
of a sudden,
says anything off the top of his head.
All of a sudden, yeah, I guess the weird city kid or
and
something.
He follows him around, and he keeps talking to him, and finally he ends up talking back. And then you have the other kid we mentioned, Makoto, who's the hot-tempered delinquent. He's taller than they are. And he ends up involved with them because one of the times they start bullying Masayuki, he comes to his defense. So this is how they all end up coming together, not knowing each other prior to these events happening.
Right.
It's really sublime, though. That's the word I was looking for. Sublime. It's really calm.
Even the intro was sort of like Cowboy Bebop, where it's a little bit of jazz in it, like you're gonna have a fun time watching it. It's like, why?
But you're not. And you're starting to see this being more and more. We keep seeing get hit by a car over and over, the same car that hit the supposed kidnapper. But you're understanding now that the human that they said kidnapped the children didn't do it. And this thing that keeps appearing that looks like a giant alien, you'll see it on screen, looks like this is what did the kidnapping. And we don't know why or for what reason.
Right.
And it's really good because you're not seeing spoilers anywhere online. So again, we really want to see the second 11 episodes to find out the end of the story. Why invest in the first half when we can't see the second half?
Right.
So we're going to see, can we find it on YouTube? But again, if you've seen this and know, let us know in the comments.
And the last thing is that there's a big theme in here where they have there's every episode, there's a school, pretty much psychiatric guy that interviews him almost every episode, and he thinks he is a link to what happened with the kidnappings and these occurrences with the spirits. And every episode they actually start telling you the definitions of different medical and mental terminologies, like the out-of-body experiences, astral projections, how to trigger memories, how to trigger trauma or sensory deprivation. They go into big detail about these every episode, and and then telling you where the sensory parts of the brain have triggers emotions and memories and how it's linked. And they kind of go in depth because I assume it's supposed to be important to the story, because all that's supposed to be revealed is linked to, I guess, what's happened in the memories of these people. So you get the definitions and terminologies of all of these psychiatric terms and abilities in the mind.
So it's very scientific. I think that should have been part of the description, not just supernatural and suspense.
Well,
ESP.
Yes.
Because a lot of that is included in here.
Yes.
And a lot of the definitions are true to what it is in our real world.
Yes.
So if you've seen Ghost Hound, 2 separate words, let us know in the comments.
Yes.
And if you haven't, it's not available on Crunchyroll. We hope you've seen it and can tell us more about this story. And even if you want to give us some more updates on what's going to happen the second half of the season, we really want to know. Let us know in the comments.
And if you don't know very scared for updates, we'll give reviews for anime series, anime shows, and all things animation.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for joining us this Spooktober. We hope you're enjoying your outings and whatever it is you have planned. As always,
You are special. Thank you so much for watching West Entertainment.
And Mom Entertainment.
Have a fantastic day.
Peace.